We've often thought from a young age that niceness is the highest virtue. People like, be agreeable, don't raise your voice, and certainly don't get angry. But the problem is, that's not morality. That's social compliance. You're not nice because you're good. You're nice because you're afraid of conflict, afraid of judgment, afraid of your own potential for aggression. But as a man, if you are incapable of standing up for yourself or for others, then you're not moral. You are harmless, and harmless men don't change the world. They don't protect their family. They don't stop injustice. They get trampled quietly and then wonder why nobody respects them. To avoid disrespect, you need to integrate the shadow. Your anger, your ambition, your lust, your need to dominate and protect. You've been told to push those parts away, so you pretend they're not there, but they are. And when a man suppresses his shadows, it leaks. It's usually in passive aggression, outbursts, or breakdown. I've seen men go through all three in 1 week. You can't be trusted if you haven't made peace with your own darkness. And you absolutely cannot protect anything if you are incapable of violence. This is my belief to the core. Hundreds of years ago, a man named Machiavelli sat down and wrote the truth about life. He didn't waste time writing about how the world should be. He wrote about how the world really is. And what he saw was this: good men, nice guys, the ones who gave too much, who forgave too easy, who wanted to be liked more than they wanted to be respected. They didn't win the girl, they didn't keep the kingdom, they didn't live the life they dreamed about. They were replaced by men who were willing to be strong first and kind later. Machiavelli said, it's better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Not because fear is cruel, not because fear is reliable. Love fades when it's tested, but fear, it reminds people where the lines are. Being a nice guy without strength is like writing promises in water. If you want to be respected, you have to show the world that you are not to be played with. Only then your kindness will mean something. You ever notice the guy who's always available never gets chosen? You are there when they need you. You check in, you help out, you make time. And when it's your turn, it's all silence. When it's your birthday, it's forgotten. And when you finally speak up, they say you're too much. Let me tell you what's happening. You're not too much. You're too nice. And people don't respect nice. They use it. I used to think being liked is the same thing as being respected, but it's not. In fact, it's the fastest way to become invisible. You see, the more you try to please, the more they test you. The more you fold, the less they listen. People don't hear you when you're soft. They hear you when you stand on something. And I know you probably think you're doing it right. You don't want to hurt anyone. You want to be the good guy. You want to be the safe choice. But here's the truth. If you never say no, your yes means nothing. If you never disagree, people assume you have no spine. And if you never draw the line, don't get mad when they step on you. You trained people to treat you like this. You allowed it, and for too long, because you were scared to be alone. You were scared to lose them. You were scared to get into a confrontation. You were scared to speak your mind and risk being misunderstood. Or as a man, if you are completely harmless, then you are incomplete, because the goal is not to become a monster. It's to become someone who could be, but chooses not to. Like the famous saying says, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in war. Which one would you rather be? So here's what you do. Start saying no without feeling the need to explain yourself. Get as physically strong as possible, because you need to know what you're capable of. And that can give you a great confident boost to stand up for yourself and others. You're not broke because the world is unfair. You're broke because nobody needs you. You have no respect because nobody depends on you. You are invisible because you bring nothing to the table. Basically, you are useless currently. Every man wants to be wanted, but few are willing to be needed. And that's the separation. Men who are useful, who can fix things, solve problems, carry the weight, they never struggle for long if they are smart. Because when you bring value, the world finds a way to make room for you. People sense when you are valuable. They act different. They speak with more respect. They give you more opportunities. Not because they like you, but because they need you. Respect isn't given, it's earned. learned in hardship and competence. You walk in a room different when you know you are needed. You move different when your hands build, your mind solves, and your presence fixes things. So learn how to fix shit. Learn how to build. Learn how to market. Learn how to protect, sell, lead, and organize. When your hands have value, your brain holds solution. You will never be starving for too long. And you know why? Because a man who is truly useful, the world can't afford to lose him. You want to be rich? Be useful. You want to be respected? Be useful. You want to be remembered? Be the man everybody calls when it matters. His day begins with anxiety, whether he made someone upset with him or not purpose. Every reply he types isn't about what he wants to say. It's about keeping others happy, avoiding conflict, and staying light. From the moment he opened his eyes, Ethan's already living for everyone else. And when the day ends, he's exhausted, resentful, and still invisible. Nobody thanks him, nobody respects him. Ethan lives his whole life trying to please everyone else, and every day he loses a little bit more of himself. David, when he wakes up, his phone on the table. His morning is his. At work, David carries his responsibilities with pride, but he knows his limit, while Ethan takes more and more tasks until he explodes or completely exhausts himself. And even with his friends, David doesn't bend over backwards. He helps when it matters, but he never sacrificed his entire life for approval. And because of that, his words carry weight. When David says yes, people know he means it. When he says no, they accept it. You know they're not accepting Ethan's. They will push until he says yes. David doesn't live to please people. He lives to respect himself. The choice is simple. Be Ethan, the man who erases himself piece by piece until nothing is left. Or be David, the man who protects his time, his values, and his life. Stop people pleasing before it ruins you. Then I need you to stop apologizing for taking space. You can't be going through a hall and saying, "I'm sorry, excuse me." You're not even in the way. You're just saying "I'm sorry" for no reason, for taking up space. And then I need you to speak with precision. Say what you mean. I started this channel at some point because I wanted to improve my communication. This is the one everybody seems to hate. Start practicing confrontation, not to hurt, but to hold your ground. You don't need to be angry to be assertive. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You need to be whole. Stop being so nice. Let people feel your boundaries. Let them sense that behind your calm eyes is fire that chooses not to burn them. The world doesn't need more agreeable men. It needs strong men, disciplined men, men who've integrated the shadow, because those men can be trusted with real power and real peace. Build yourself into someone they can't afford to lose. Build power in silence. Build respect through action. Be good when it serves you, but be feared when it protects you. And never apologize again for who you had to become. You learn that if you have your own needs or your own opinions, people will leave you, or they will get angry, or you will be unsafe. So you created a transaction system. You thought, if I'm exactly what you want me to be, if I have no edge, if I am perfectly agreeable, then you cannot hurt me. It's a shield, a defense mechanism. You are not being nice because you love people. You are being nice so people won't attack you. And here's the cost. This is the part nobody talks about. Resentment. If you are a people pleaser, I guarantee you have a secret reserve of rage inside of you. You walk around silently judging everyone. I do everything for them and they do nothing for me. I listened to their problems for 3 hours and they didn't ask me a single question. You feel used, and here's the reality. You taught them to use you. To recover from people pleasing, you have to be willing to be the bad guy in someone else's story. You have to be willing to let someone be disappointed. You have to be willing to let someone think you are rude. You have to accept that you cannot control how other people feel about you. And that's terrifying. I know it is. The thought of someone saying, "Wow, he's changed," or "he's being selfish," makes your stomach turn. But listen to me. Selfishness is required for survival. If you give away all your oxygen, you will die. If you give away all your money, you will starve. And if you give away all your energy trying to manage someone else's emotions, you cease to exist. But listen, the moment I started moving like I had options, like I actually respected my own time, my own space, my own path, that's when everything changed for me. Not that I became louder, I just became clear with my stance and my boundaries. Not that I became rude, but I stopped being afraid to walk away. And people feel that. They They know who they can play with and they know who they can't. So here's the part you need to hear, the solution, the fucking cure. You don't get respect by accident. You earn it by how you move, what you allow, what you walk away from. You don't need to beg for it. You don't need to prove anything. You need to mean what you say and act like it. You're not becoming toxic. You're just having boundaries and becoming solid. Don't listen to nobody telling you otherwise so they can take advantage of you. No more shrinking yourself. No more overthinking. No more playing nice while your self-respect gets slaughtered in the background. Be calm. Be firm. And when something doesn't feel right, walk. Remember, stay consistent, stay disciplined, and subscribe, you bastards.